Hello, hello. Welcome to Dragon Riders. I am Dorian Paladin and Dragon Rider. I'm just popping on here for a little bit. I've been on for a little bit. We started doing a live stream RPG game. We did a few. So we did session 0, session 1, and session 2. They're all down below. But a little bit of break on that for the moment. And I started. I wanted to stream a little bit because I started to do some professional dungeon mastering in January. I needed to do some. I needed to start making some money from home, doing some work, and I really didn't want to do some of the stuff I've done in the past, like customer service and order entry. I had a lot of sale experience, but I'm kind of done with sales. I've just done too much of it. I used to do medical sales, but yeah, I've been mostly working on writing and things like that. And I thought I would give professional dungeon mastering a go because I actually kind of considered it a year ago and kind of dipped my toe out there a little bit there, and it was really there was no response in Twitter and all that. Just kind of, but I kind of had it all set up to do. And then when I decided to try in January, because there was a site I had come across, I guess it came into existence somewhere over a year, and I think a lot of people were probably playing more online with the pandemic, which has now calmed down a little bit. But so I started in January, and just to tell you, let me just take a peek real quick, make sure there's nobody in here to say hello to. Let's see, Nottam Beast Contest. If you are out there, hello. Completely can talk. Anybody out there comes on, definitely we can chat. Yeah, so I started out. What I did is I took my Frost Realm module that I published in 2019. I started initially with that. I would start decided the campaign would start with that module, running that module, and then it would shift from there into my world that I've created that I use for my 4-year campaign, and also have a that's a live one with my girlfriend, and then I Kate, and then I also do I've done one over a year on Discord, which also takes place in my main material world. Yeah, so Frost Realm as a module, I just you guys anybody that knows me and is on my Twitter and knows all about Frost. I love Frost Realm. I wanted to make a frosty um, adventure. I came across somebody's. I used to watch this guy, and he used to do. God, he used to stream a lot, and I happened to land on one of his campaigns on Twitch. It was the finale, and they're coming out of this ice fortress, and it just struck me. And like, that's all I really need is a droplet of inspiration, and I can get really excited about something. So I decided to create my own frosty adventure. It took a little while for me to actually do it, and actually all started out with well when I returned to D&D and 5e in 2017, and I, uh, I returned to D&D in 2017, I should say, and I came across maybe I said that. Sorry, man. All right. Anyway, so I found out about 5e watching a little bit of Critical Role. I really liked the rules, so I picked up the player's guide, learned how to be a player. And then a year later, in 2018, I decided I wanted to start running campaigns. Got the Dungeon Master because I've always been Dungeon Master mostly. So I got the Dungeon Master guy. I started running the campaign for my girlfriend. And over time, and then during all that, I started to, like I said, I started a vlog, a Dungeon Master vlog actually, where I was talking about world building, which led me to building this place called Despo, which is a particular continent actually in my material realm now, and also and then the Adventure of Frost Realm. And people were asking me, or someone asked me if I was going to publish it. Hadn't really thought about it, so I published Frost Realm 2019. The only time I'd ran Frost Realm was 2018, with where I had merged it into the campaign I was running for Kate. So we did her characters and her group did visit there and go through all that. Um, but then other than that, I hadn't really. That's not true. Yeah, I hadn't really ever ran it other than that because I was going to say with my brother, but actually Kate ran it for me and my brother one session when he came out here. So I'd been wanting to run it forever, and I want to see how people thought of it because I sold like 30 books, but I never really got feedback on. I didn't know who bought them because most of them were on Amazon, and so I didn't know who bought them, and I wasn't sure what people thought of it. So that was a driving force too, and so that's kind of how I started my first professional dungeon master gig. Was that I had posted it on the site, Frost Realm, and it started at level 5. Um, and there's basically two adventures within that. Um, and this couple joined. The guy was a truck driver, and then the girl. It was a way for them to kind of be together because they're apart because he was a truck. He literally played from his truck. And then bottom line is we started to sign on more people onto that game. We ended up with 6 people on Fridays, except the truck driver was not able to make many of the sessions. But it was really great. Um, and Frost Realm, we had a lot of sessions with Frost Realm, and we've only dealt with the dungeon, which is underneath the fortress. Um, People were seeking out a healing artifact called the Blue Phoenix, and so we had a lot of sessions out of that. It was interesting. Like I said, I hadn't ran it since my prototype, so um, that went. It was I loved it. I finally got to play it more. I never did ask the players how they liked it because we just kind of moved on after. Where that campaign is now is it was 6 people for a while, and usually the sixth person couldn't show up, but it was quite a blast on Fridays. And actually that one's 12 to 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And like I said, there was like 5 or 6 players for quite a while. But then in the last couple of weeks, the couple with the truck driver, they finally stepped away. One reason was uh, he was never able to come, and it kind of defeated the purpose. The other reason is her friends invited her a live group on the same day, and she just decided that she would go with that. So I totally understood. I figured the way that I figured this would happen, I figured it's going to be a come and go thing. It's hard to, any of you will agree, it's hard to commit to a campaign, especially weekly. And the hardest part for me with Dungeons and Dragons, getting a group together, right? And during that first 3 months, January, February, March, there were times where certain people didn't come, but for the most part they did. And maybe that's because they were paying. Although with the paid games, if you 24 hours ahead of time, you can skip a session so that you're not charged. So that's pretty cool. Um, and but even so, there was really not that many absentees. But like I said, in the last couple of weeks, a couple people, the couple had to leave, um, which was not a surprise to me. I was really expecting it to happen anytime because he just was never able to make it. He also liked to pay for the spot, even though he wasn't there because he wanted to pay for the spot, because he knew I could be getting more people to join the group, which I was always awkward about, and I didn't really like it. But he was very kind of insistent on it. There were certain games where he knew he wasn't going to be there that he skipped, but most of the time he paid for the slot anyway. So they went away. It was I wasn't sure if she would go away, his wife, because she was so much enjoying herself, but she maybe that invite from her friends was kind of the final kick. So what surprised me though, then it was a handful of days later, a really good player, a really great guy, really enthusiastic player is what I mean by great player. Um, he actually said he was going to have to take a step back. He said he was playing too many games. I knew I think he played a game right after ours, so I knew he was doing at least 2 on Fridays. And he said he was spreading himself a little too thin. He told me I was an amazing dungeon master. I'm not, patting myself on the back here, but I was surprised and I was bummed out because the thing about it is even though I'm making money from these particular campaigns, the main reason I'm doing this is I love Dungeons and Dragons. I can't really play enough, so like 70% of it is that. The other 30% reason is I really need some money. And it just said, what the hell? If I can make money doing dungeon mastering, that's like everybody's dream is to make money doing something you actually enjoy. And I'm so passionate about Dungeons and Dragons. I focus on it so much anyway. I might as well. And it also gets so I'm now able to play more, which is what I want to do, and I'm also making some money from it. So that's been really helpful. Yeah, so I was shocked that this guy got. So I kind of lost 3 players, even though only 2 of them were really playing within like a week or so. So that was a little bit of a blow. And like I was saying, just because they're paying, you know, yes, I'm playing with some people that maybe I never would have played with. I mean, not just because they live in other states, because there's different kinds of people, and with the professional doesn't matter. You got to play with all kinds of sorts of people. But that's kind of true with the regular games too. Um, it's been fascinating, really, to see people, the different kind of players and whatnot. But yeah, so okay. So anyway, as far as Frostwhelm, the game that runs 12 to 3 p.m. and those games sometimes run a little longer than that, but I know I'm going to do the 3 hours. But I usually end up getting on a little early to kind of chat with people, and I usually play a little later. So um, as far as Frost Realm, so now we currently have 3 people. and they're awesome. It's literally two brothers and they got one of the guy's girlfriends, and they also have a Wednesday group of their own that they play. So they're just the thing about it. They're playful, and like, but they also, really love the game, and so it's just been a really a blast. But they are awesome. So I'm part of the reason I'm on here is I'm like, um, I have it up on the site and people can sign up as they want, and but I kind of want to reach out. I want to get more people in the group. Yeah, sure. Yes, I'm gonna make more money if I get people in the group. But that's still not the only reason. I want this is a good group of three people, and I can run NPCs with them. We're doing Friday. We're still continuing, of course. We got three people. But I really want more people to join this group. So if you are interested in uh, the Frost Realm one, now the Frost Realm one, they they've moved beyond the healing artifact thing. I'll leave it at that. But there's another aspect of Frost Realm, which is the Dark Prince that lives in the fortress of Frost Realm. And that group, instead of going head to head on, checking out what's up with the prince, because he used to be a good guy and now he's not a good guy. So there kind of is this mystery to it. But as opposed to confronting the prince right off the bat, they decided let's cruise up north, further north in the continent, to talk to see if his father's around, King Terab, because this is Prince Terab. So they want to go to the source and find out from the source why the sun might have turned dark. So that was their decision. It was really interesting, and it made for a lot of DM prep because I needed to really make sure that northern, well, the land is called Norwin. I had to make sure that the land up north was prepared for that. But one of the things in the dungeon is that they came across a prisoner who was a king to one of the other lands, and that land is Despa. Despa was the land I had made, in 2017, I think, to as a way of showing like my process of world building. So Despa is part of my material realm, and so anyway, the king of one of four kings of Despa was in a jail. So now they wanted to help. The guy's going to pay him some money for breaking him out, and he's actually a lizard folk, so I say the guy, but still the guy. Anyway, they need to travel. They're going to travel to Despa first, correct the reward, and then they'll head back up to Terra to check out the king and talk to him. But they've kind of got hooked on the Despa thing because the king over there needs some help figuring out. He thinks he knows who put him in jail, so he's hiring them to do some espionage, some get some information intel for them. So that's kind of where that group is, and they're just arriving in not in the lizard folks kingdom, which is where they landed initially in Despa, but they're heading south to the kingdom of Rock. And that's a warrior king. His father had died. Now he thinks he should be the main king of Despa. There shouldn't be four kings. So he's kind of pressing that issue. And the group is going down to investigate him to see if he's maybe the one that had the Lizard King kidnapped and put into the Dungeon of Frost Realm. So that's kind of where that's at. They're just arriving at the Kingdom of Rock. So it's an exciting time. And they're all level 7 at this point. Yeah, so anybody who joins the group will also be level 7. We'll be exactly even with them. They were level 7. And yeah, so in my About section on this Twitch, there is uh, a link to my professional dungeon mastering. If you click the link, it'll take you to my profile. It'll show the current games and upcoming games. If you want to join either of those, I have 2 upcoming games. I actually run 3 campaigns right now through that site, but one of them was a custom one that they actually hired me as a DM from my profile as a DM as opposed to signing up to one of my games. And that game is on Monday, and that group's just they want to just have them and the 4 of them in the group. They didn't want to add more group members, but that's on Monday. But if you go to so that doesn't show up there because that group is filled because they have their players. But if you go to my profile, it'll show Frost Realm. It'll also show the Paladin of Torah, which is my second campaign. It takes place on Saturdays. The campaigns take place from, like I said, 12 to 3 p.m. PST, and so that's my Friday one. Just these guys are so much fun and they're great players, but they're also chill. So if you are looking for something like that, definitely sign up for that. Moving on to my other campaign though, the Paladin of Torah. The way it actually worked was I created a new land separate from my material realm. This is Sensora. This map here is just the northern part of it. I mean, then there's a southern, but then there's also a western. So there's actually three maps that create Thensora. So they start at the top there. That those two cities kind of are the capital cities as opposed to the capital city of Thensora. So Caldor is where they started, which is a very busy place. It's interesting though because it's not super industrious looking. It's more like a large town, like a city-sized town. It's just more rustic and more warmer kind of than maybe cities might be. Yeah, so the group started up there. The way that originally started was it's changed. The actual campaign name has changed a lot as I've been trying to figure out because I'm pretty new to the site and everything. Um, it originally is the Myths of Sunsora, and it was actually something else before that, or Welcome to Sunsora. And anyway, I'm on like the fourth title, but it's because, but I'm also shifting the content. So someone signed up for that, and I started playing with them as one player. I guess I'm okay with one player initially because I've been running Kate for 4 years and she's one player. I just play a lot of NPCs, so I didn't want to wait around till a bunch of people signed up before we started. Now maybe that's the way people do it on that site. Maybe they just wait to have a full group or a partial group before they start going. But that I was new to the site and that was not my instinct. So him and I started playing, and also get to know him, get to know his character and things like that, and and then anybody can join in at any time. This guy is great. Totally someone I would never have met, never have played with, but once he starts playing, he's so in it. He's I would have to say it's probably as far as running a single player game, it would be harder for some people to do it, and harder for me to run certain people. That's just a guess because I haven't ran a lot of single player campaigns. But this guy, he's so into his character, and what happens? He'll just start talking, and I'll realize, oh, he's in the game. He's no longer Steven. He's you know his character, and he also plays I think it's called a what is it? Singing Blade wizard. Anyway, it's a blade. It's a blade singer or something like that. He's a wizard who also can do sword play, which is a subclass that I had not. I think I might have heard of it, but I'd never played it. So that's a very interesting and exciting character. So he took on that first quest and they achieved it, and then he kind of split from all the NPCs. And I thought he'd return to Caldor, and he didn't. He just hung out with one of the NPCs, a paladin who I really enjoy playing. I love paladins, so you'll see lots of paladins in my games. Yeah, so he instead of going back north to collect the reward, they didn't weren't interested in the reward. He wasn't. He's more interested in what's going on with Sunsora, because what's happening with Sunsora is it's a place where there's been peace. There's not been any wars in a long time, and it's just there are creatures and different kind of creatures and all that, but something's happening. All of a sudden, the lords of Thensora and different powerful humanoids are starting to hire sell swords and mercenaries, adventurers, etc., to do special missions for them. What's happening is that there's mythological creatures that are starting to appear. Creatures that are like minotaurs and centaur, cyclopses and things like that. Things that you would normally find in storybooks and myth. And in Thensora, these creatures have only been in books and stories and myth, but they're starting to show up. And at least that's the rumor. So he's hired, and I sent some MPs with him to go check out this minotaur that had supposedly uh, stepped into this forest and kind of scared some people out of their cabins that they rent from this Censora Lord. So yeah, so that was an interesting thing. But instead, it's so cool because no matter what you plan for, and anybody that Dungeon Masters probably knows this, you can plan all you want. I did not know he was going to go south. He did not go back to Caldor because they gave away their award from the beginning. The Paladin and him were kind of more interested in the greater good and what's going on with this place, Censora. So the two of them just split south, and they headed down to a village just south of that village. The Whispering Woods is where the Minotaur was. But south of that, there's a village. It's not on the map. And they went down there, and they found out, about a cyclops. It was in Gray Sands, this desert here. It's like another mythological creature. Like, what's going on? So they hook up with somebody who had seen it, and then a couple other mercenaries, and they headed south. Um, and they battled it session. Last session would have been a week. Let's see, what is today? It's only Thursday. Not last Saturday, but the Saturday before. He took last Saturday off because of Easter. So like 10 days ago or so, the Cyclops actually came up behind them. And they had a good battle, and they're heading back to the village, and they want to head potentially to Vaharia. Now, Vaharia is a place in this tower there, Vaharia, where there's warlocks of a dark uh, demon lord that live there. Okay, so that tower supposedly has all these books of knowledge and everything else, which really interests the wizard, the player character. Um, but they also, yeah, so they want to go. They want to go check that out. They're trying to figure out what's going on. And they're worried, like, is it just this part of Thensora? Is it all of Thensora that's seeing this stuff? Are there portals? What's going on? So they want to research knowledge at this tower, which means they're going to have to get through or meet or talk to or sneak in around the warlocks of Vaharia. So that's they're going to probably he's going to probably start moving that direction on this coming Saturday. Now that Saturday that is also, like I said, from 12 to 3 p.m. PST. Now that only has one player right now. And maybe it was a mistake. Maybe I was like, oh, I should have waited till I got more people, because maybe people don't want to join a campaign that's already been going, because it says how many, what session it's. Maybe they don't want to join a campaign that's on session 6, and has one player in it. Maybe that's. But I just I can't figure out, I can't decode this site. And I have to go with my instincts. And this guy has been great. Like I said, yeah, okay, I only get paid for just the one guy, but he's been great. But I will say this: at the end of every session, we're both like, God, we just want more players, and because it's just what it's like to have more players. It just adds so much more dynamic ness to it. So we're both enjoying the campaign, and things are going well, but we're both very excited about getting groups to that. So, um, one of the ways I was trying to instigate maybe some more interest was I decided, okay, they're not signing up to the Myths of Thensora, and it's now on like session 6. So, thought about creating a new campaign story in the middle of Thensora, not a different section. It's called, and I came up with the Paladin of Torah. And I don't want to get too much into it in case you sign up for this, but also, yeah, this is if you're on YouTube, yeah, I'll have the links down below in regards to getting to my profile, so that if you want to sign up or read it, because also you can just click the adventure and just read up the description of it. Paladin of Thensora, though, is about a paladin from a long time ago. I don't want to get too much into it, like I said, but it's he's over to the west of Thensora, and my player said that he would either. Oh, I gotta grab this. I'm so sorry. Hold on 1 minute. Sorry, guys. When you live with your mother, which I've been living with her for work. I'm living at my family home last little while for different reasons. Anyway, they sometimes call you from the market. Okay. Looks like there's a lot of people in here. I don't know if any of you guys are listening, but you're welcome to ask me questions or reply to any of the stuff I'm talking about. I'll just say hello to another TV viewer and Vasmap or Delart Delot X is Zemma and now not a Mr. Beast contest was already here, but hello again. Wello Vema well we love marbles. Okay, cool. Anyway, hello all to you. Hello to you all rather. And like I said, ask me any questions or if you have any thoughts or anything, just I'm totally love talking to chat. So yeah, so what was I? Where was I? Okay, so I was talking about the second campaign. Yeah. So, like I say, so I decided to create a whole new storyline, and my player had told me, you know what? Because I can either connect with that campaign, or I can create a whole new character. So he was like, we just want more players in the Saturday group, and so yeah, so I created that. So I did some work and I created some things, and there's a whole other storyline off to the west, and that's the one. That is the oh, hello, Bobicus. How are you? Yeah, so the anyway, I'm here now. Rejoice. Rejoice. I am rejoicing. I am glad you are here. I love talking to people about D&D. I just love D&D, so I kind of like can talk about it most of the day. Yeah, so Bobicus, I'm just talking about uh well, this site this Twitch is different things. I do have a we did start a role playing stream, but we did a couple sessions, but that's kind of on hold for the moment. And I like to get on here and do a D&D talk where I just talk about Dungeons and Dragons. If anybody that comes in, I just love talking about it. So this particular stream, I'm talking about. I started doing some professional dungeon mastering in January, and so I'm just talking about a couple of the campaigns that I have there. And the first one I was telling everybody is the Frost Realm one, where it was 6 people, but some people had some needed to leave it, so we've got 2 or 3 spots open up on that for that Frost Realm campaign. And if you're interested about knowing about the campaign, oh my gosh, this phone's ringing again. I'm so sorry, guys. Hold on a second. Yeah, sorry. Let's see here. Nah, I'm not looking for any campaigns at the moment. Appreciate it though. I run my own campaign on Wednesdays, and man, the story just blew up. You said you ran your own campaign. Do you do that online, or do you as a that you do it? I'm sorry, on Twitch, or do it in person or online with friends, or who's in it? Oh, in person. I mean, come on, man. In person is always going to be the best. I love D&D so much that I love playing. The cool thing about the internet ones is that you talk to people who live in other states and other countries, and it's really you meet people you wouldn't have. But I would love to get all these people or any group of people together and do a live game. I do play in person with my girlfriend, and she's literally a level 27 warlock. So I'm kind of having to. I move beyond the archdevils and beyond the demon lords and even beyond some of the gods, and I'm having to go bigger. Um, we just kind of weren't playing very much, but I am now. I'm finally starting now that my time is more structured a little bit with the profession doesn't master. Everything is kind of more structured, so now I'm actually freeing up time, and I'm starting to figure out campaign beyond 27 because we just don't. I don't think we want to end that campaign. I know it sounds crazy high, but yeah. So you said your story just blew up. What happened, man? You've never ran anything higher than level 10. You know, I've heard that a lot of people don't even like high level play, and I don't know if that's the players or the dungeon masters or both. I'm completely different. Okay, yeah, tell me about your story. Let's hear what happened. So while he's typing that up, I will just say, um, if you go to my about thing and you can click my DM for hire thing. It'll take you to profile. You can look at the two campaigns that I have going right now. And if you want to join, also if you'd like to do a session zero, make sure that you want to join. The session zeros are free. But let's get so okay. So here's what he said. So to set up the campaign in brief. Uh-oh. In brief. Do dungeon masters really know what the term brief means? Let me have it, man. Just looking if anybody else answered. Dinking around. Oh, there's the biggest. Dinking around. Hello, dinking around. Another viewer. I may have already seen them. All right, let's see what he's saying. Okay. Two human colonies of a fallen empire eking out an existence in elven lands where they are unwanted. Oh, no. I will be right back, Bubicus. I'm so sorry. You're welcome to keep typing. All right. Okay. Well, that was a long break. I'm sorry about that, guys. This is what happens. You try to do a stream in the middle of the day that you don't normally do a stream. Anyway, I'm going to see, because we had someone telling us about their campaign. Let me see if they're even here anymore. I see everything they've written, but Bobakis. It looks like we got some more people. Rogue Girl. Lakaylee. And I think the rest of them were here before. A bunch of you guys. I don't know how many of you can hear me. Hello. Sorry, Bobakis. Thanks for telling me my mic was on. Extremely embarrassing. All right. So I'm going to read what you wrote. It's my thank you. All right. So Bobakis here runs a campaign, and they're telling me about their campaign. 2 human colonies of a fallen empire eking out an existence in elven lands where they are unwanted, but there's no war. Let's see. It is the season. Let's see. It is the season of Ramash, time to trade. A trading caravan is coming in with adventurer guards, but the elves have closed everything off due to fey attacks. A sleeping sickness is putting children in the colonies into sleep comas. And while they sleep, they dream fey creatures into the material plane. Well, that is very cool. You see, let's see here. You see an evil Eladrin known as the Lady of the Forest has poisoned the river water with the leaves of the Sidnoche flower. She presents herself as a healer and offers a treatment, but not a cure. If the humans will entrust their children with her protection, the humans mostly blame the elves for the sleeping sickness, a way to drive them out without needing to go to war. So the campaign is basically supposed to be fight Fae, uncover the true big bad, navigate the difficult politics between the humans and elves. One of my players, whose background is that he's a local folk hero of one of the colonies with a sick child, decides on the ninth session that he's had enough with town not doing anything about the elf problem and threat, and riles up an angry mob to deliver mob justice. The mob kills some elves in the forest to send a message, and the message is not well received. War. Well, that is an awesome premise. Sounds like you've really got did your work setting up that campaign. That's awesome. Yeah, like I said, I'm running a 4-year campaign, but that's there's so much there. And then because she's like level 27, but I've been running another campaign um, for over a year in Discord, and I think that might be level. I'm forgetting now. Maybe they're level. I think they're level 9 or 8. They. I'm really excited about the next session. Great group of people that I met on D&D Twitter, and then I'm running my campaigns that are paid campaigns, which are the Friday one. And the Saturday one, also a Monday one, which is a closed one because the people kind of hired me directly from the site to do a campaign for them. But they are in Thunsora. The Monday one's in Thunsora, and so is the Saturday one. What did I see here? They started at level 3 and are at level 4 now. Your people, okay. Oh my gosh, so they're pretty low level. Yeah, I usually start campaigns at 3 or 5. Yeah. Yeah, so anyway, the main reason I wanted to get on here was to let people know about my campaigns. Talk a little more about my campaigns, more than just a Twitter tweet, where I'm saying, hey, I'm getting paid for a campaign, come join. That's kind of meh. These are really cool people and are really cool campaigns, and I'm very excited about getting more people on them, but I'm also really enjoying them. Well, there are less people, although the Wind Group has 3. We're, like I said, that one we're going to be heading into town. I'm going to need to actually get off at line soon and do that. I need to work. I have it pretty set up. I have a castle, I have a city, I have shops, and everything's all really set up. But I kind of want to go in there and figure out some accents in regards to like NPCs and what they might run into in the kingdom, other than just the ones that run the shops and the ones that are in the castle, which are the main people that are coming to check out. Um, but there's some other stuff going on there that I don't want to say in case anybody joins. There's some really cool stuff coming. That's gonna because Despa is the thing about Despa. Despa is ran by four kings, but there's the Lizard King who was literally kidnapped and put into a dungeon. And then below him is the king who thinks he should be running everything. He's trying to force that on everybody. Then there's an aging barbarian king who has a wall between him and the warrior king, and is like, we're not joining you. But then there's the Mad King, an Elven King over here, and he is the protector of this great healing tree, but he's also kind of known for being insane and killing his own people out of paranoia. It's kind of a mess, this Despa right now. So what's going to happen to Despa is up in the air, and the players will help to shape that. But there's also more behind all that. Let's see, what did you just put here? Let's see. I didn't. My chat was doing something where it was delayed. Now I'm seeing it says as you do, which I'm not sure which thing you were responding to. Sorry about that. Yeah. So anyway, that's why I got on. This is Thensora. This is only one part, one third of the map of Thensora. It's a land I created. Um, one only. I have different. I have a couple different campaigns in there. I have the one guy on Saturday, which I want more people to join. Like, go to my about thing and just kind of, if you want to read up on that Paladin of Torah campaign. And then but my Monday group is there. That one's gone the furthest into Thensora, and I'm having a really good time with that. I think they're in they just left the Whispering Woods. They were there. And then my live stream is also in Thensora. So Thensora, I'm very excited about, and it's just getting going, and I really want to get more people in there. So yeah, so that's pretty much it. My stream is a little bit oddball stream in regards to the fact that I had phone calls and a huge pause there in the middle of it. But people that are watching this later can just skip that and just watch the content. And it was really cool to have Bobicus show up here and talk to me about his campaign too. I love to talk D&D. That's always going to kind of be it might hijack some of my streams. Not the ones where I'm streaming a game, but if I'm on here to chat, I'm probably going to end up talking to chat if the chat is talking, because I love talking about D&D. So, Bobicus, thanks for sharing your really cool campaign. Sounds like it's going really great. Levels 3, levels 4, hopefully they can survive. It sounds like a very dangerous scenario. And thanks for anybody else who's checked this out. This is going to be on my YouTube. So you can reply below on my YouTube because if you didn't catch this live. If you are watching this on Twitch later, the VOD, you can go to my About, and there's a link to my YouTube so that you can, if you want to actually reply to any of the stuff I said or ask any questions. And then my Professional Dungeon Master link is in there too, and DM for Hire, that's in my About page as well. And then there's my Twitter, yeah, I have a Ko-fi in there too, but I don't push that a lot. That has to do with my projects, because I am working on a second book. I'm just very slow. Anyway, once again, Boas, thank you all for watching, and anyone who watches it on Twitch or watches it on YouTube. And let's see, today's Thursday. Have a really great weekend.